Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. How are we all? I am very well. Thank you for asking. Today, I did a fart that sounded a little bit like a cat. So, it's been productive. I got a lot done today. Apologies I wasn't here yesterday, and desperately apologies to No Justice MTG as well, who I'd arranged to be on stream with at 9, and then, get this, for the second time in less than a month, the electricity fucking fell off again. Yeah, so there was a power cut at like fucking 8 o'clock or some shit. So I went, fuck this, and went to the pub. I thought at least I can get a cold beverage as my fucking food rots. It wasn't too bad, actually. I didn't end up having to throw much away. Unbelievable, man. The fucking electricity companies are absolutely shit. Another privatisation success story. Did the rats eat the cables? No, the rats rely on the electricity as well. They live here as well. Look, people need to stop being horrible to the rats, okay? They're technically vermin, yes, but look, vermin gets a bad rap. They are citizens of this fucking city. Okay, I will not have you besmirching my tiny little Brummy friends. They're not even that tiny anymore. They're massive, in all honesty. Furry. They're basically furries. They're Birmingham's furries. Okay, except they're actually animals and not people dressed as animals who are into that. Although I wonder, because they're big enough now, I wonder if humans could get away with it. Would they be able to trick the rats? If you were a furry in Birmingham, or just a furry that travelled to Birmingham, dressed as a rat, would you be able to get away with it? Interesting. I mean, I'm not going to buy a rat suit and find out. That's not going to happen. So, don't even know what you're talking about. I'll deny the accusations, and that'll be that. Fursuit donation drive whenever. But I'm not even going to buy a fursuit. I'm not even going to buy a rat fursuit. So, what the fuck? Feedback Hub has just told me, how likely are you to recommend a Windows PC to others, if asked? Well, not a lot, considering you just fucking bibbledy-bobbed during my fucking stream, you little prick. Never. Get a fucking Apple. Actually, don't. Fuck Apple. Anyway, your crab suit is technically a fursuit. Well, it's not a fursuit because it's not furry. It's a shell suit. Except that already is a thing. Anyway. Kev is a huge rat in a human suit. Squeak, squeak, motherfucker. Anyway. Oh, hello, as friends, Rust. Look, what the fuck is going on with Man City? What's happening there, mate? Like, come the fuck on now. Seriously. Scalies are a thing, are shellies. Why not? People get off to the weirdest shit. Why not get off to the idea of being a crab or whatever? Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. I got a little snips. I've got little snips. What the fuck are you doing, Kev? What are you doing with your fucking life? Are there any furry artists in chat? Almost certainly. I did see that suggestion, Tess. HITC Kevins. That kind of works, but you'd need to know about HITC 7s to get the joke. But I do appreciate the genuineness of your suggestion, and B, the quality of the suggestion. I appreciate that enormously. Yeah. Warning, Twitch has been temporarily banning people for multi-streaming with merge chat. Why? Why have they been doing that? Well, that's fucking dumb. Well, it is what it is. Remember, if you're on Twitch, go and follow me on YouTube, because if they ban me here, then I'll just go onto fucking YouTube solitarily. Like, solitarily? Yeah, that'll do. Fuck it. Anyway. Yeah, fuck Twitch. If you want to give me money, if you want to help me out, if you want to, maybe, just maybe, assist me in buying a fursuit. It could be a kick thing, though. Yeah, I don't mind that. Get rid of the fascists. Yeah, that's fine. Well, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, you can, if you're on here on Twitch, if you can hit the follow button. You can subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can give subs to the community. You can do bits messages. You can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. 200 bitty bits or $2, basically the same thing, on either of those things makes the noise happen. You can make noises happen in my ear holes, and that will be very distracting and ultimately lead to the degradation of the already piss poor quality of this stream. But you can do that if you wanted to. Okay, I'm going to say it now. Isaac is not worth 125 million, which is interesting considering they're paying 150 million, aren't they? Yeah, I don't think he is either. But if you've got that money, why, you know. Also, like, I was already getting to the stage where I went from wanting Liverpool to win things because they hadn't for a long time, and like they'd been through some shit with like fucking Hillsborough and all that, you know. And they went so long without winning the league title, and they're this proud club that was forced to play fucking John Joe Shelby in midfield. Embarrassing. Yeah, I wanted them to sort of win, you know, and now they're getting quite arrogant. Some of their fan base, you know, and they've just fucking purloined Newcastle's best striker off them. So they're sort of the team that I don't want to win anymore. Which is a bit of a shame, but there you go. You could buy 3 Haalands for that. Well, you couldn't really. You got Haaland at a ridiculous snip price cost. I mean, that was farcical business from Dortmund, really. Jesus Christ. Considering the money they got for the fucking dog shit like fucking Ousmane Dembele. Ooh. Good lord. Or Jadon Sancho. Yeah, they're usually very good at business, but fucked up on that. Anyway, we're not doing football. We're not doing football tonight. We're doing a different thing. Speaking of Kick, I recently found out that Ica Rule streams on Kick. Disappointing. That is disappointing, actually. I haven't checked in with her in a while. I hope she's doing okay, other than the Kick thing, obviously. Liverpool have become Man United again. The circle is complete. True. True. It really has. It's come full circle. I suppose happens. It comes around in cycles. If you get too good, like, what I want is competition ultimately. What I don't want us to become is Scotland. No offence to Scotland as a nation, obviously, but the Scottish Premier League, I mean, having watched Celtic Rangers at the weekend play out, honestly, one of the most abysmally pathetic 0-0 draws I've ever seen. It was fucking awful. With both of the teams having just gone out in embarrassing fashion from the Champions League qualifiers in the midweek. Honest to God. Just, I don't want us to become that as a league. It's fucking atrocious. Or like Portugal, where there's like 2 teams that can win. There's no point. Much offence to Rangers, though. Fuck those guys. Literally. Did you see? I mean, people say that. People, when I mention that in Rangers, the Rangers fans, you get fucking Nazi salutes. I don't make that up. That's not something that I've been, you know. They're fascist little cunts. Hang on, where are we? Why isn't that working? Boom. There we go. First Nazi salute of the day at Ibrox. Just casual. And you'll notice no one around him is like shouting him down. Because even with the Blues, which isn't like the most woke place in the world, if you went down St Andrews and started Nazi saluting, you get your fucking shit pushed in. People don't play that fucking nonsense. They're not, again, it's not wokeness, it's like Nazi shit, man. Like, literally, that stadium was bombed by the Nazis. Not Ibrox, obviously, I mean, St Andrews. To be fair, they were using it as a firing range test thing for the army during the war, but that's not the point. Yeah. But if you start Nazi saluting, you get your fucking teeth knocked out. And rightly fucking so. Whereas at Ibrox, it's just, whatever. Yeah, it's just a bloke Nazi saluting. Maybe he's just an Elon Musk fan sending out his love. Get fucked, lad. I worked for a subcontractor of Rangers for 5 years selling tickets. I have stress-related illnesses I have not still recovered from that job. As friends Rust, I can sympathise, mate. Fucking Rangers, man. I'm so glad they're not going to win anything ever again. Because they're fucking dreadful, man. Holy fuck. Anyway, but that's by the by. Okay, should we get onto some content? Hang on, what's this? Right. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry. If you're on YouTube, by the way, you can subscribe for nothing. It's free. You can thumb the video up again for free. You can hit the bell icon for nout. You can become a member for 99 of your British pennies. And indeed gift memberships at that price. You can also do super chats, which I will read out in a sexy voice, which is just my natural voice, which is sexy. Yes, it is sharp. Anyway. Right. Britain has turned into a parody of itself. I think that's safe to say. I've told you all about the weird fucking dickheads going around painting the traffic islands with the St George flag when they can get the right way round and they don't end up painting the Danish flag by accident, which has happened on a couple of occasions. And how the government are basically kowtowing to them. We'll get to it. But it's especially galling when you see, like, a piece of self-satirizing nonsense, as we saw here. So, for a little bit of context for anyone from outside the country, I'll be referring here to, as you can see on the screen, a place called Canary Wharf. Just to give you the context there. Canary Wharf is an area of what was former docklands in the East End of London, right? So we used to have these massive docks where all of the goods from all of the places which we illegally occupied and stole all their shit. And that would come in. So you get like sugar from the West Indies, from like Jamaica and Barbados and places like that. You'd get tea from India and all these. And so all of this stuff had to be shipped and unloaded in London, right? And so you had these massive, massive docklands, and I mean, really, look, they took a huge floor space across the banks of London, and employed a lot of people, employed a huge number of people. Not necessarily not in terms of they weren't necessarily very well paid jobs, a lot of them, but they were jobs. And obviously, just like every other industry, that went away because neoliberalism fucking destroyed it. So those docks essentially, metaphorically, ran dry. They didn't literally run dry. The river is still very much there. Either way, so those jobs went away, right? And so the areas of the former docklands became essentially a wasteland. So from the kind of 1950s and 60s through to about the 1980s, they were just dead. economically. People moved out of them. There were no businesses. People basically didn't go there. They became essentially kind of Wild West badlands of crime and degradation. And so successive British governments tried to do loads of things to try and rejuvenate these areas. And eventually they hit upon this thing called the Canary Wharf development, which was essentially to build a second economic hub in London. So you've got the City of London, which is where like the Bank of England and the Stock Exchange and all that kind of shit is based. And so that was the financial hub of London. And they decided to build essentially a secondary version of that in what was the former Docklands, right? Around the big building, which is Canary Wharf, which is this fucking huge skyscraper, right? It's not necessarily the prettiest building in the world, but it is a very successful building in the sense that it's essentially now become the kind of byword for corporate Britain. So when people talk about at Canary Wharf, they're talking either specifically about the geographic location or more generally about corporate Britain. It's where all the big businesses are. It's where all of the, the tech startup bro shite happens and all loads of different fucking things. And Canary Wharf is a house to 1,000,001 different, companies and banks and blah, blah, blah. Sorry, the building isn't called Canary Wharf. Apologies. What's the building called then? I thought that the actual tower was called Canary Wharf. What is it called? Kieran is not only our Prime Ministerial anal sex correspondent, he is our London Buildings name correspondent. I'll never forget how he chastised me for calling, for me getting the Shard and the Gherkin mixed up. He cut me bad that night. I think a Canadian was involved in making Canary Wharf. Almost certainly, yeah. Yeah. Building McBuilding face. Thanks. There's an old canary shop there. Is there? Can you buy a canary? As he's not telling us, Canary Wharf. We'll fucking find out ourselves, won't we? The Wikipedia. Right, Canary Wharf is a privately owned financial district. Blah, 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 blah. Just tell me the name of the fucking thing. Tallest buildings. Yeah, what's the... One Canada Square is the... Oh, sorry, that's the one, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So Canary Wharf, technically it's called One Canada Square. Apologies. Anyway, so One Canada Square is the big fucking thing. But Canary Wharf, like I say, is the... Like I say, the byword for corporate Britain. And so, to see the absurdity of the flag shaggers, the people you see on the screen here, who invaded... I say invaded, I mean technically it's open to the public, right? It's a business place, you can go there. I've walked around it myself. It's actually not a bad little place, if you ignore the wankers in suits who are destroying the country. Anyway, they went into one of the buildings here in Canary Wharf, in the shopping centre, and started chanting things like "Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves," which is funny for two reasons. Firstly, either they mean Britannia as in the female embodiment of Britain, which has not ruled the waves for about a century, or they mean the Royal Yacht Britannia, which has not sailed since 1997. So either way, no, she fucking doesn't. She does not rule the waves, and has not done for decades. Secondly, the fucking absurdity of a group of people marching through Canary Wharf, which is actually the place you should be going to if you wanted to fight back against the system. Okay? Canary Wharf is the place where all of the corporate bastards who have hollowed out Britain are based. Well, for the most part. Like I say, some are still in the City of London, but that's a bit old school, a bit crap, right? Canary Wharf is where all of your vulture capitalists, all of your fucking hedge fund wank banks, all of this is there. So you should go there if you want to, quote unquote, start a revolution, if the English lion wishes to roar once more. Except, of course, they've gone there to march through the halls of the powerful to scream about a young brown lad on £50 a fucking week living in a dive of a hotel because he literally can't do anything else. You people are rubes. These people are fucking just the craziest twats in the world. You are stood there in the halls of the pinstripe-suited monsters who have destroyed the nation that you support or claim to support, and you're literally moaning about Abdul, a guy from Syria who escaped fucking having his house bombed by bombs that we sold to the madman who bombed him, who's now in a fucking hotel in Grimsby. That's the person you're fucking mad at. You daft bastards. You stupid fucking bastards. It sickens me. It really fucking does. And it gets worse, because this fucking feckless, bollockless, talentless, spineless wanker of a Prime Minister is literally trying to appeal to them, to a group of people who think he's a communist pedophile, who will never vote for him in a million years. But he'll incinerate the votes of people who might vote for him, chasing the votes of people who will never, ever, ever vote for him. This, I had to check this wasn't a satire. Because the Onion don't really do headlines about Britain very often or whatever. So, but we have like our equivalent of the Onion here in the UK, right? We have several actually online. And I had to check that this wasn't one of their satires, right? Keir Starmer has said he hangs the English flag in his home and always sits in front of a Union Jack. He told the BBC, "I'm very encouraging of flags. I think they're patriotic and a great symbol of our nation." Again, I had to check that that wasn't a piss take, because that's so obviously silly and over the top and completely incorrect. A massive, massive lie that nobody in the fucking world can possibly think is true, that I had to think it was a silly, frankly, cack-handed piece of satire. Not even a good piece of satire. Like an obviously kind of hammy, stilted writing kind of piece of satire. A bit too much, you know? Because are these people... Is Keir Starmer and his people, are they so ensconced in their number 10 Westminster bubble that they actually think a single human being believes that that's true? Because it isn't, obviously. It obviously is not. But does he think that anyone believes that? And who does he think is going to be won over by this? Nobody. And also, what would it matter if it were fucking true? No one gives a fuck. Even the people out there doing the flag thing, none of them fucking care whether you have the flag in your house, you dopey bastard. Nobody. Whether he has the flag up, I don't care. If he doesn't have the flag up, I don't fucking care. No one cares. The home decor of the Prime Minister is fucking irrelevant to me. He could put up the fucking flag of ISIS for all I care. Actually, no, that would be too far. To be fair, if he put up the flag of ISIS, I think that would be overstepping a mark. Almost as bad as saying that he supported Palestine action. That would be terrorism. So no, as long as he's paying for it, so it's not like Boris Johnson and his fucking wallpaper shtick, right? As long as he's paying for it, his home decor decisions are fucking irrelevant. Nobody gives a solitary shit about this. And it's not true. So you're lying about a thing, everyone knows you're lying, it's not going to win anybody over, and you make yourself look a massive wanker. Parliament came back today. Good to see he's really turned over a new leaf. I don't even want to talk about that wanker. This is amazing. Britain becomes a satire of itself. So someone did one of these paintings, right? It's Paddington Bear with the shadow of the Queen there holding up the thing, and Paddington Bear's putting up the flags. So this is a reference to, if you remember, during the 2012 Olympics, they did a video when the Queen, who was then alive but is now dead, with a CGI version of Paddington Bear, and they had a jam sandwich in Buckingham Palace. It was very cute. The nation loved it. The world loved it. And so it's become a thing of the Queen and Paddington Bear holding hands. It's become like a kind of cultural institution meme, meaning kind of a nostalgic view of Britain. And so someone's done this drawing of them putting up the flag. It's very obviously a piece of cringy Britannia wank, Brit boo nonsense, right? And someone wrote, Paddington is literally an undocumented immigrant from South America with a history of prison time and famously unemployed, living off a British family. Now, that is funny. That is funny and true. And someone responded, and this honestly took my breath away, that someone sat down, typed this out, or on their phone, typed it out, and then put it out there, right? Paddington assimilated into the culture. Not a fighting age male. Didn't want to install an Islamic caliphate and eats marmalade sandwiches. What the fuck? Why did you post that? Oh, mate. Firstly, it's marmalade. Like that's a point in his favour. We're pro marmalade sandwiches. Also, do we know definitely that he doesn't want to install an Islamic caliphate? Because honestly, I've read those books, and I don't remember a specific mention of the Islamic caliphate one way or the other. Which makes you think, why didn't he mention it? What's he trying to hide? I'm just saying, if he were against installing an Islamic theocracy here in Britain, you think he would have mentioned it, and he didn't. I'm just saying. I'm on to you, Al Paddington. The most British image there has ever been. The St. George's flag cross on a German van. Excellent work. Can we all just have a round of applause for, again, the self-satirization? I'm so proud of Britain, I bought a foreign vehicle. Spectacular. Genuinely brilliant. Well done. 10 out of 10. No notes. Fucking superb work. A masked group of men have attempted to enter a hotel for asylum seekers in West London. And you know what? They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop until they start fucking killing people. They really aren't. That's where it's going to end up. You mark my fucking words. They're going to start killing people, and the police might give a fuck. Maybe. What is this?
قمر الدين دبيازة خالد كشميري خضر كرويته
True.
إسماعيل أحمد كنباوي عثمان عبد الجليل ششة محمد سنبل
Inshallah, brothers. Inshallah. And then, where was it? Hang on. I can't say. Oh yeah, but it doesn't really matter because Keir Starmer says he will definitely lead Labour into the next election, which is the surest far way of knowing that he's probably about to fucking resign, to be honest. Though you can tell that he's definitely not going to lead them into the election because he said he will. Fact. Now I definitely...
Stop it. Get some help.
I definitely bookmarked I definitely put UK, for fuck's sake. Hang on a minute. Immigration plan UK. Just news. Give me the fucking news. What? Here we go. Fucking hell. That's just what I wanted. Right. So, Nigel Farage is basically the Prime Minister. That's the thing to take away from this. Nigel Farage is just the Prime Minister now. He announces a policy and Keir Starmer then announces it as the government's policy like the next week. So he said he's going to... Nigel Farage said he's going to stop the family reunion applications. So what did Keir Starmer announce today? That the British government are going to suspend refugee family reunification applications. Like, he's already Prime Minister. Just call a fucking election. Call an election, you might as well. He's already the Prime Minister. He's already getting the policies through that he wants. So you might as well just call an election so it can be official. Fuck it. How does Keir Starmer think this is turning anything around? Seriously. It's fucking embarrassing. It's genuinely embarrassing. Is Donald dead yet? Sadly not. Sadly not. Thank you, Main Captain, for resubscribing with Prime. Much love. Anyway, on that point, shall we take a look? Because again, Parliament restarted today. And there was a statement from the Home Secretary about immigration. And honestly, every time you think Parliament has bottomed out in terms of how appalling it is, it gets worse.
I now call the Home Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With permission, I will update the House on actions that we are taking with France to strengthen our border security and the next steps on our reforms to the asylum system. The House will be aware that when we came into the government, we found an asylum and immigration system in chaos. Small boat gangs for 7 years had been allowed to embed their criminal trade along the French coast.
Which, by the way, you're going to now make worse. Because if you stop all legal routes for family reunification, guess what happens? They turn to illegal ones. You just made lots of money for very evil people. Well done!
The asylum backlog was soaring and illegal working was being ignored. The previous government had lost control of the system and as a result opened many hundreds of asylum hotels across the country, while returns were a third lower than in 2010. And before leaving office, they deliberately cut asylum decision-making by 70%, leaving a steeply rising backlog behind. It is little wonder that people right across the country lost confidence in the system and demanded to know why they were paying the price of a system that was so out of control. But that does not mean that people rejected the long and proud history of Britain doing our bit to help those fleeing persecution or conflict.
See, this is the go, right? Because, again, the policy is... Stiff dick a poop. The policy is stiff dick a poop, absolutely. No, the policy is that they're going to stop family reunifications. Except for those from Ukraine. Because that's right. If you're white, your family gets to be reunited. If you're not white, you're shit out of luck. Could it be any more obvious how racist this is?
Stop it. Get some help.
Could it be? Could it actually be? Why is Diane Abbott still in the Labour Party? I don't think that she is, technically. I think she's been suspended, so she's an independent member of Parliament right now. Because she said things that were a bit silly. but that if you were right-winged, it wouldn't have been an issue at all. Like, literally, you can be as racist as you like. You can be a sexual abuser, and it doesn't matter. It's absolutely fine. You can still be in the party. You can literally attend Jeffrey Epstein's birthday party, and you get the cushiest job ever as the ambassador to America. Ooh, fun. Hello, Boy Meets Minnie. How are you? Thank you, Why Would a Historian, for gifting a sub to Maria End. Much love to you both. And thank you, KSO, for resubscribing 41 months. I like big boats. I like big boats too. Thank you, Phil Decker, with 100 bitty bits. If we get to the next level of the hype train, I will finger Keir Starmer. That's right, I'm saying it right now. I will finger the British Prime Minister in front of his massive Union Jack that he definitely has in his house. Honest.
Including in the past decade families from Ukraine, Syria and Hong Kong.
Get some help.
Because it is the British way to do our bit alongside other countries to help those who need sanctuary. But the system has to be controlled and managed, based on fair and properly enforced rules.
No, Keir Starmer is not dead. I'm just really annoyed with him. Hello there. No, thank you, Miss Hire, for subscribing with Prime. Much love. Yes, if you want to help out with the hype train, you've got bits and subs over on the Twitch machines. And on YouTube, you can become a member for 99 pence or do super chats and all that shit. Doesn't help with the hype train, but it does help with me keeping my lights on when I occasionally have access to electricity from the fucking company, you massive cunts.
Rules, not chaos and exploitation driven by criminal smuggler gangs. And it is exactly because of our important...
Hang on, I missed that. Thank you, Phil, with the bits, who says, my father was a Union Jack. Sorry, I missed that. It's a very good line.
The return of the sausages.
Wear a glove.
No. No, I will not. Thank you, Why Would a Historian. This is Wear a Glove. And 1312. Random number. Who knows what that number even means? I don't even know what 1312 means. Do you know what it means, Jack? Can you tell me? Can you inform me what 1312 means and why it's a thing that people say? Because I didn't even know what that is. Because I'm such a good boy, you understand.
Tradition that substantial reforms are needed now. In our first year in government, we've taken immediate action, laying the foundations for more fundamental reform. We have restored asylum decision-making and then rapidly increased the rate of decisions. Had we continued with the previous government's freeze on asylum decisions, thousands more people would have been in hotels and asylum accommodation by now. Instead, we removed 35,000 people with no right to be here, including a 28% increase in returns of failed asylum seekers.
And literally no one cares. You won't win a single vote for it. Not that that's why you should do policy, of course, but, like, they're putting such a crux on this. Like, literally, Keir Starmer tweets like a fucking weird BNP member about fucking immigration all the time. And it's not going to win him a single vote. They're focusing on this like it's a thing that can win them anything. And it isn't. Phantom of Black says, I made a good and serious point. Did you indeed, sir? I say sir, I don't really know your pronouns, apologies. You say that, Kev, but isn't that a very good choice for ambassador to the US? Him and President can bond over their late mutual friend. I believe so. I believe it was for that precise reason that he was sent there, yes. No one cares you're doing fascism.
Get the fuck, they came up with me, all these mutants!
Hey, hello DJ Che. Welcome in, everyone go and follow DJ Che. Who is cool.
And a 14% increase in removals of foreign criminals.
Oh, 14? Dog whistle, is it?
We've increased raids and arrests on illegal working by 50%, and we cut the annual hotel bill by almost £1 billion in the last financial year. We are rolling out digital ID and biometric kits so immigration enforcement can check on the spot.
So you can give AI companies public money, you stupid bastards. It's a fucking grift.
Whether someone has a right to work or a right to be in the UK. And on channel crossings and organised immigration crime, we are putting in place new powers, new structures and new international agreements to help dismantle the criminal industry behind the boats.
Which you have just massively
So I
helped.
want to update the House on the further steps we're now taking. In August, I signed the new treaty with France, allowing us for the first time to directly return those who arrive on small boats. The first detentions took place the next day of people immediately on arrival in Dover, and we expect the first
Stop it.
returns to
Get some
begin
help.
later this month.
Thank you, Danger Vince, for resubscribing with Prime for 4 months. Much love. Much love. Stop saying reform. Oh my god. Well, to be fair, the Reform Party don't own the word. What synonym do you suggest in its place? Changes, maybe, I guess?
Applications have also been opened for the reciprocal legal route, with the first cases under consideration, subject to strict security checks. We've made clear this is a pilot scheme, but the more we prove the concept at the outset, the better.
I wish Kev was an MP sometimes. I'd like to be an MP in the sense that I'd like to be able to call their shit out, but what about me suggests parliamentary standard? Like, I swear too much. I call people names. I will occasionally even refer to somebody as a stool pigeon. And these are all entirely unacceptable things. The House of Commons is, you're allowed to lie. You're allowed to advocate for genocide, be fantastically racist, sexist, just generally a massive bigot, a loudmouth buffoon. But you can't be, you can't say certain no-no words. You can't say that somebody's drunk. Or a stool pigeon. Or point out that somebody who's lying is lying. You can't say that. You can't say that. Because that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Why would you want the governing body of your nation to point out the liars in its own midst? That would be insane.
Better we will be able to develop and grow it. But the principles it embodies are crucial, because no one should be making these dangerous or illegal journeys on small boats, and if they do, we want to see them swiftly returned. But in return, we believe in doing our bit alongside other countries to help those who have fled persecution through managed and controlled legal programmes.
There is no legal route for most people on Earth to come to Britain. We know this. You have not fundamentally changed the rules since we had a Tory Home Secretary literally admit as such to the then Tory chair of the Select Committee when asked. There is not a safe and legal route for anyone outside of Ukraine and Hong Kong. Even Afghanistan, even people who helped the British forces in Afghanistan and Iraq don't have a safe and legal route to come here. I wonder why they go into the arms of the illegal smugglers. It's crazy that, isn't it? Fucking idiots, man.
This summer, we've also taken further action to strengthen enforcement against smuggling gangs. France has reviewed its maritime approach to allow for the interception.
Yes, Big Zebra, you can't be prosecuted for anything you say in Parliament. That's literally true. People have admitted to committing crimes in Parliament. People have literally committed crimes in the sense that they've broken what was called super injunctions, which is where you're not even allowed to mention that there's an injunction that's been out that means you can't publish information. And people have specifically used parliamentary privilege to break that and face no legal consequences. So yeah, you can't be punished legally for anything you say in Parliament, but if you say someone's drunk or call them a liar, even if they are a drunkard who is a liar, they're drunkenly lying right now in front of the entire chamber, and you point that out, you will be asked to withdraw your comments or you will be kicked out of Parliament for at least 1 day. So you can't be prosecuted for it, but you can face legal, or you can face, let's say, practical consequences.
Of taxi boats in French waters, and we will continue to work with them to implement this change as soon as possible. In the last year, the National Crime Agency has led 347 disruptions of immigration crime.
Thank you everyone for the hype train. Much love to you. I've got to go down to 10 Downing Street for no specific purpose.
Networks, their highest level on record, and a 40% increase in a year. Over the summer, we announced a £100 million uplift in funding for border security and up to 300 more personnel in the National Crime Agency focusing on targeting the smuggler gangs. And the Border Security Bill will give them stronger powers, counter-terrorism powers against smuggler gangs, powers to seize and download mobile phones of small boat arrivals, and the power to ban sex offenders from the asylum system altogether.
Now that's interesting, isn't it? They do like to focus on sex offenders amongst brown people. Let's be honest, they mean brown people. Whether it be this government or the flag shaggers painting things or the people putting up flags. Didn't hear quite so much today about this little story. Where are we? Here we go. Lord Beckett, a member of the landed gentry, charged with rape and sexual assault. Yep, that's right. Lord Charles Brockett, sorry, not Beckett, was arrested on Friday and subsequently charged with 2 counts of rape in London on the 10th of August. And 1 count of sexual assault from Warbleton, East Sussex on the 5th of May. So, but he's a white man and rich and powerful, so it doesn't matter, does it? I didn't notice any of the flag shaggers wanting to protect our women and girls from a member of the landed gentry. No one breaking into Greg's over this one, I feel. Anyone trying to set a hotel on fire because of this? Or is it okay when a white man does it?
Mr. Speaker, if opposition parties work with us to speed passage through the other place instead of opposing the bill, those powers could be in place within months, making our country safer and more secure. Let me turn now to the major reforms that are needed to fix the broken asylum system that we inherited. Although we have increased decision-making and increased returns,
I did not, seamstress. You got a link for that?
the overall system remains sclerotic, outdated and unfair. So as we committed in the Immigration White Paper, we will shortly set out more radical reforms to modernise the asylum system and to boost our border security, tackling the pull factors, strengthening enforcement, making sure people are treated fairly, reforming the way that the ECHR is interpreted here at home, speeding up the system, cutting numbers and ending the use of hotels. And
Honestly, how long is it before... Because your man, as Farage has said that he wants to take us out of the ECHR, so how long until that becomes government policy? How long? Because basically he just says... Keir Starmer just says what's Nigel Farage's opinion on this, and then does that. That's basically how government works now. It's just what attention-grabbing bullshit has Nigel Farage put into the media spin cycle. Oh, let's make that policy. That's it. That's how it works now. That's how policy formulation works at Downing Street. Read what Nigel Farage said on fucking GB News the previous night. Also, that's a good point, yeah. She talks here about wanting to stop foreign sex offenders from entering the country, and yet we're literally welcoming Donald Trump, a foreign sex offender, into the country. Not just on a short visit, but to be welcomed by the entire British establishment on a state visit, where he gets to shake the hand, the big, chubby, sausage-fingered hand of our nearly dead king. Cool. Very awesome and normal.
Det är idag
Son of Norway's crown princess charged with 32 offences including rape. Jesus fucking Christ. The son of... Oh my god. I apologize to every Norwegian. Mette Marit. Norway's crown princess. Is that like the queen? Is crown princess the queen? I don't know. I don't know. Has been indicted on multiple charges including rape following his arrest in November 2024. Oslo State Attorney, again apologies, Sturla Henriksbo, and said Marius Borg Horby could face up to 10 years in prison if convicted. What the fuck? Norway, sort yourselves the fuck out. I had this problem with Vargvikenes as well. You murder someone and the most you can get is 10 years. Silly. Fucking silly. Anyway. The 32 counts include rape, abuse in a close relationship against a former partner, and acts of violence against another. Other charges relate to death threats and traffic violations. Fucking hell. Amazing. Pronunciation's on point. Vogel, you are Austrian. Like, I know as a European, you probably have a better ear for it, but I'm not going to take the word of an Austrian over Norwegian pronunciation. Okay? No offence. You could be correct. And in that I'm correct. But you don't, but that's, yeah. You're from a different place. I'm just saying. Or maybe it's like English with Americans. I don't know. Oh, it's a 20-year maximum. Apologies. Well, why is he only looking at 10 then? Like, for me, if you get convicted of rape, you should go to prison for like 20 years on its own, let alone all of the other fucking crimes he's done. Austrian all sounds like the Terminator to me. True.
Developing controlled and managed routes for genuine refugees. At the heart of these reforms will be a complete overhaul of the appeals system, the biggest obstacle to reducing the size of the asylum system and to ending hotel use. Because tens of thousands of people in a...
Oh, and by the way, it's not just hotel use, because they've started to move some of the people from hotels into houses. And they're now complaining about that, because it's not about the type of housing you put them in. It doesn't matter where you put them. The only place some people want you to put them is in the fucking ground. Literally.
That is a stiff dick of poop.
Quite so. Get stuffed. That sounds alright, actually. Yeah. Thank you, Vogel, for gifting us up to Pengor. Can any Norwegian tell me whether I did okay with that or not? I don't know.
Asylum accommodation are currently
Stop
waiting
it.
for appeals.
Get some
and under
help.
the
Good lord. Why noise is happening? Thank you. I'm going to pronounce it like an American. Big zebra. 23 months with Prime. I don't know why I wanted to say it like an American. Just zebra. It's funny. It's funny to me. New Arab. Whoever linked me to the New Arab, that link does not work. It says 404, your request page does not exist. Sorry, username listened to. I'm not American. Well, neither am I. High five.
the current system, that figure is to grow, with an average wait time already of 54 weeks. So we have already funded thousands of additional sitting days this year, and the Border Security Bill will introduce a statutory timeframe of 24 weeks, but we need to go further. So we will introduce a new independent body to deal with immigration and asylum appeals, fully independent of government, staffed by professionally trained adjudicators with safeguards
and rubber sniffing dogs, probably. Oh yeah, no, we reported on this. This is funny. New Yvette Cooper protest springs up. Protest group springs up amid Palestine action ban. Which again, just to be very clear, you cannot say I, Kevin Logan, support Palestine action. You can't say it. Especially if you're not Kevin Logan, because it certainly wouldn't make sense. But even if you were Kevin Logan, you couldn't say it, because it would be illegal and supporting of terrorism. And you know I don't support terrorism in any circumstance, because the government would never willfully use terrorism legislation to try and put down reasonable political discourse. No, that would be crazy. So you don't say that. You don't say those things. A new protest group named after the UK's Home Secretary has been formed following the government's plan to prescribe Palestine Action, which again is a terrorist group, as a terrorist group over its direct action in solidarity with Gaza. The Yvette Cooper group, named after the minister who has spearheaded the designation of PA. No, that's not Philadelphia. That's it. Yeah. As a terror group, although to be fair, Philadelphia should be designated as terrorist. The Eagles are scum. On Thursday, targeted a firm in Birmingham accused. What now? Accused of links to Israel. Newly launched direct action group Yvette Cooper targets Time Logistics, who transport weaponry for Israel's biggest weapons firm. The group wrote on X. They're on X. Wow. Okay. Who are Yvette Cooper? The Yvette Cooper Group's X profile, which has 6,000 followers, describes its mission statement as, quote, a direct action group aimed at ending British complicity with genocide. Our name is a parody, but the message is real. Beautiful. So it could be the case, dear friends, it could be the case that Yvette Cooper will have to stand up in Parliament and argue that Yvette Cooper is terrorist. And I'm here. Like, the irony of that, the symbolism of that is, oh, it's delicious. Absolutely delicious.
To ensure high standards, but able to surge capacity as needed to accelerate and prioritise cases, alongside new procedures to tackle repeat applications and unnecessary delays.
But then I'm going to have to do the same joke. I'm going to have to stand here and be like, I do not. You can't say I support Yvette Cooper. You can't say it. It's illegal. If you say you support Yvette Cooper, you're a terrorist. You get 14 years for saying support. Which is just going to break my fucking brain. It doesn't make sense. Oh no. Do I have to pay an entry fee to get inside Yvette Cooper? I've heard she's had many members. Sorry. She's literally married to a man called Ed Balls. I mean, like, we're a serious country here, people. We're a very, very serious and normal island. And yes, for anyone wondering, I didn't make that up. She is literally married to a man called Edward Balls. Ted Balls, if you will. No one's ever called him Ted, but Ed Balls, yeah, that is the man's name. A man who is famous mostly for accidentally tweeting Ed Balls, his own name, when he meant to type it into the search bar. Little embarrassing. A little bit of a whoopsie-doopsie, but what can you do? I just resubbed on Twitch. I thought the auto renew, but it hadn't. Are you Big Zebra? I'm gonna have to call you Big Zebra from now on. I've decided. That's, yeah. Full name Edward Testicles.
Stop it.
Oh no.
Get some help.
Okay, Tess MV, I presume is you. Thank you for 2 months with Prime. Much love to you. Anyway, back to the terrorist group. I mean, Yvette Cooper. Yeah.
We're also increasing detention and returns capacity, including a 1,000-bed expansion at Campsfield and Haslar, with the first tranche of additional beds coming online within months to support many thousands more in forced removals each year. And our reforms will also address the overly complex system for family migration, including changes to the way that Article 8 of the ECHR is interpreted. We should be clear, international law is important. It is because...
How can you, as the Home Secretary of this government, possibly fucking say that? How can you, with a straight face, turn around to the country now and say say that sentence without being like, yeah, obviously we don't really mean that. That's complete nonsense. After nearly 2 years of this. Yeah, they do have that right to cut off water, power and supply of fucking electricity and all that shit to Gaza. You have supported actively, not just like passively or diplomatically, you have done reconnaissance flights virtually every day for the last fucking year, giving information to the Israeli government to then murder Palestinians with. In blatant, obvious contravention of international law. And basic human morality, but you know, you don't care about that either, clearly. So how can you fucking possibly turn around and say, oh, international law is very important? Suck all of my wangs.
Because other countries know that we abide by it, that we have been able to make these new agreements with France to return people who arrive on small boats, to make new agreements with Germany to stop the warehousing of small boats by criminal gangs, and to explore...
The warehousing of small boats. Amazing. Also, is she okay? I have not seen her fucking face move in quite a while now. Has she gone catatonic? I'm not sure. I've forgotten her fucking name now. It doesn't matter. Anyway, she's just like... Maybe she's having a staring competition with the person on the other side. Because he probably gets quite boring in Parliament. So you're like, tell you what, you go up to the Tory, we'll sit across from each other. Right? And we'll have a stare-off. First one to blink has to buy a round of drinks and sexually assault someone. Because it's Parliament, so they have to sexually assault someone, obviously. Angela Eagles, there's the one, yeah. It's Parliament, so it's good parliamentary form to like just sort of sexually harass someone, maybe touch an arse or a tit or something, you know. Yeah.
returns hubs partnerships with other European countries.
Oh, no, she's alive.
But we also
no,
need
alive.
the interpretation of international law to keep up with the realities and challenges of today's world. But there is one area...
It doesn't matter if you missed one mention of small boats. Wayward. The fact that you still do the RNLI link, which, by the way, you should all go and donate to the RNLI. They literally save people's lives at sea. They've got the word royal in their title, but that's basically just a thing here. You just have to ignore it. Give money to them. They're not actually a royal organisation. They're volunteers who go out on fucking boats and risk their own lives in order to save people's lives. So donate to them generously.
Where we also need to make more immediate challenges. The current rules for family reunion for refugees were designed many years ago to help families separated by war, conflict and persecution. But the way they are now being used has changed. Even just before the pandemic, refugees who applied to bring family to the UK did so on average more than 1 or 2 years after they had been granted protection, long enough for them to be able to get jobs or find housing or be able to find...
Yeah, obviously, because if they don't have enough money to be able to keep themselves, how the fuck are they going to be able to keep family members who come in? Didn't Sean Locke embezzle money from the RNLI? He did say that that was the case, but here's the key, right? By the way, genuine RIPs in chat for Sean Locke. He was a comedian. And he said that because it would be funny to say that, because that would be an absurd and crazy thing to do. He also said in that little rant that he beat seals to death with hammers. I don't think any of that was actually true.
Provide their family with some support. In Denmark and Switzerland, currently those granted humanitarian protection are not able to apply to bring family for at least 2
Yeah, in Canada there's royal stuff as well, and Australia and New Zealand and all these places. And you're like, at least like they live here. Like, it's embarrassing enough having a monarch, but at least that monarch lives here. They're from Germany, but they live here, right? Whereas if you've got her on the, well, him now I suppose, on your banknotes and your fucking coins, and you're in Ottawa or fucking Wellington or Brisbane or some shit, like, how embarrassing is that? Motherfucker's on the other side of the world. You couldn't get further away without getting in a fucking spaceship. What? It's fucking insane.
years after protection has been granted. But here in the UK now, however,
He was the Riddler.
those
Yes.
applications come in on average in around a month after protection has.
I don't think it is possible to set a prime sub to auto. I don't think. And there's nothing I can do about that. Because they won't let you do anything. And even if they did let you do something, I wouldn't know what to do. So we're both fucked.
Been granted, often even before a newly granted.
So don't forget, if you want to do a Prime sub, which is where if you've got a Twitch account, you can link that to your. So if you've got an Amazon Prime account, you can link that to your Twitch for free, and you get one free subscription. You can give me $5 of Jeff Bezos' money, which I will put definitely not into a rat fursuit. I won't do that. That is not a thing that I will do. But you can give me money for not that.
Refugee has left asylum accommodation. As a consequence, refugee families who arrive are far more likely to be seeking homelessness assistance. And some councils are finding that more than a quarter of their family homelessness applications are linked to refugee family reunion. That is not sustainable. Currently, there are also no conditions on family reunion for refugee sponsors, unlike those.
Also, you hear British politicians whinging and fucking moaning about this, and we take a sliver of the stuff of the amount of people that other countries take, and that's even just within Europe. We take far less than basically any other approximately sized country. Let alone the fact that in places like the Middle East, neighbouring countries to, you know, Syria and Palestine and places like this, have fucking vastly more, huge, ridiculously more of displaced peoples in their border. And yet Britain will whinge about our tiny trickle of people and call it a flood. Question, would you at least consider wearing some mouse ears? I would consider it. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just saying I would consider that. I would.
In place if the sponsor is a British citizen or a long-term UK resident, and that is not fair. Finally, the proportion of migrants who have arrived on small boats and who then apply to bring family has also increased sharply in recent years, with signs that smuggler gangs are now able to use the promise of family reunion to promote dangerous journeys to the UK. Mr. Speaker, we continue to believe that families staying together is important. And it's
which is why you're literally blocking them from ever doing so. What the fuck? Well, not ever. Technically, it's a temporary ban. I dare say they won't be lifting it very fucking soon.
Why we will seek to prioritise family groups among the applicants to come to Britain under our new deal with France. But reforms are needed. So in our asylum policy statement later this year, we will set out a new system for family migration, including looking at contribution requirements, longer periods before newly granted refugees can apply, and dedicated controlled arrangements for unaccompanied children.
Hang on. You were literally saying, oh, that it often happens after a certain period of time when they've already got a job, so we don't need to allow them to have their families in. And you're now saying we're going to extend the period of time before which they can even apply to have a family reunion. So which one is it? Oh, that's right, you just don't want brown people. And not because they actually believe any of this shit, because I don't think the Labour front bench do mean any of this shit. It's because the Daily Mail and Nigel Farage are the government. They're just running the fucking show now. It's not even that, like, he's the Keir Starmer is allowing him to be led, by allowing himself to be led. He's like actively chasing everything that Nigel Farage does. Because he thinks that's how to become popular. But you can never ever win those votes. Those votes that he has amassed in theory in the polling, you can't win those. Those are gone. That's basically conservatism. That's the conservative vote and the fascist vote and various other things. Those votes are never ever going to you. So you doing this just means people who want to vote for you are not going to. And that's why you're falling and falling and falling in the polls.
and for those fleeing persecution who have family in the UK. And we aim to have some of those changes in place for the spring. But in the meantime, we do need to address the immediate pressures on local authorities and the risk.
Thank you for gigantifying an emote. I don't have a noise alert for that, I don't think. Which is why I didn't see it. But thank you to Tess. Which is how I'm going to pronounce that.
Risks from criminal gangs using family reunion as a pull factor to encourage more people onto dangerous boats. Therefore, we're bringing forward...
No, dickhead. You can't have it both ways. You can't say it's a pull factor to put people on boats and then say we're going to block any applications for people to reunite, because that's literally driving people onto the boats. If you stop any legal way of doing it, they're going to use the illegal way. Like, you can't pretend that there is some easy answer here. And it's just immoral as fuck anyway. Oh, God almighty.
Forward new immigration rules this week to temporarily suspend new applications under the existing dedicated refugee family reunion route. Until the new framework is introduced, refugees will be covered by the same family migration rules and conditions as everyone else. Mr. Speaker, let me turn next to the action we're taking to ensure that every asylum hotel will be closed for good.
Oh, no, hang on. Oh, I may have been wrong. Last I'd heard, she was still suspended, but there she is. There's Diane Abbott literally sat on the Labour benches, so that doesn't make any sense. Has she been readmitted to the party? Did she get the whip back? I don't know. I've not heard anything. I could look into it. I can't be bothered.
Under this government, not just by shifting individuals from hotels
Actually,
to
I
other
kind
sites.
of can be bothered. Anyway. Did Diane Abbott get well, that was 2024. That's not at all. Okay, that suspends. Oh, hang on. Okay. That's 2024 though. That doesn't. Tools. The past month. I can't see anything about it. So, I mean, I don't know.
But by driving down the numbers in supported accommodation overall. And not in a chaotic way through piecemeal court judgments, but through a controlled, managed and...
Until you're expelled. I thought even as an independent you had to go and sit on the other side. No?
An orderly programme. Driving down inflow into the asylum system, clearing the appeals backlog, which is crucial, and continuing to increase returns. Within the asylum estate, we are
Everyone go and follow Mouselander, even though I'm not even sure if they stream anymore. They might do, but go and follow them anyway.
Configuring sites, increasing room sharing, tightening the test for accommodation and working at pace to identify alternative, cheaper and more appropriate accommodation with other government...
It doesn't matter where you put them. The same people will complain in exactly the same way.
Departments and with local authorities.
Because they don't see these people
and we're increasing
as people.
Standards and security and joint public safety cooperation between the police, accommodation providers and the Home Office to ensure that laws and rules are enforced. Mr. Speaker, I understand and agree with local councils and communities who want the asylum hotels in their communities closed.
So why did you go through that court case to try and overturn the closing of one of them? If you agree with the closing of them?
Because we need to close all asylum hotels, and we need to do so for good. But that must be done in a controlled and orderly manner, and not through a return to the previous government's chaos that led to the opening of hotels in the first place. Finally, Mr. Speaker, let me update the House on the continued legal and controlled support that we will provide for those facing conflict and persecution. We will continue to do our bit to support Ukraine, extending the Ukraine Permission Extension Scheme by a further 24 months.
So Ukraine, if for the next 2 years, you get safe legal routes because you're white. You're white enough. You pass. But everyone else, you're shit out of luck.
With further details to be set out in due
Which, by the way, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely fine with them extending the thing for Ukrainian people. Yeah, that's fine. It's still a war. It's getting fucking worse, actually. It's awful. It's fucking old pedo McPedo face over in America. The fucking orange rapist. Jeffrey Epstein's best mate. Ever since he tried to make peace, the war has only gotten worse. Honestly, can he just hurry up and fucking die, please? For the love of God. You're already literally fucking rotting. We saw your hand. Anyway, so it's still a war, and it's still fucking terrible, and the Ukrainian people need our help. Okay, fine. Grand. But why does nobody else deserve our fucking help? Why are you literally blocking it for everybody else on Earth except Ukrainians? Are they the only people that count as people?
course. We're also taking immediate action to rescue children who have been seriously injured in the horrendous onslaught on civilians in Gaza so they can get.
Oh, that horrible onslaught that you are aiding and abetting, that you are literally making worse every day.
The health treatment they need, and the Foreign Secretary will update the House.
And I feel bad, because I want Palestinians who need the health treatment to come here, because Israel, of course, has bombed all the hospitals, because, you know, they're the most moral army in the world. But the problem is, if Palestinians come here, will they be allowed to go back? Because Israel has a very nasty habit of when Palestinians go anywhere, for any reason, not allowing them back. It's a very easy way of doing the ethnic cleansing. You just lock them out. You just drop the latch behind them, and they can't get back in. It's almost like it was never about the hostages. Sorry, sausages.
Shortly on the progress to get those children out. I can confirm that the Home Office has put in place systems to issue expedited visas with biometric checks conducted prior to arrival for children and their immediate accompanying family members. And we have done the same for all the Chevening scholars and are in the process of doing so now for the next group of students from Gaza who have been awarded fully funded scholarships and places at UK universities so they can start.
Really? Oh, that's cool. I'm glad they're being offered places at UK universities. What happened to their universities? Because they definitely had those before, and now they definitely don't have them. So where did they go? Did a group of people, maybe say the IOF, did they maybe purposefully do a controlled demolition on the Palestine University in Gaza City? Even though it had no tunnels underneath it and had never been used by Hamas in any way. Sort of, you know, democide, really? Maybe? Cool. What is this? Yeah, no, she doesn't want the whip back, clearly. Entirely predictable, the Labour leadership's policies of war, austerity and racism are proving massively unpopular. Copying Reform UK only benefits them. The fear is that Starmer is paving the way to a disaster in 2029. Which is just true. Look at it. Fucking embarrassing. And that's without your party coming in, which will definitely take some Labour vote as well. Like, yeah, she's absolutely correct. But in a time of deceit, honesty is treachery.
Start their studies in autumn this year. And later this year, we will set out plans to establish a permanent framework for refugee students to come study in the UK so we can help.
Do you have a link to that, Michael? They say that's bullshit. There is a guy campaigning on Instagram from Gaza, got his uni acceptance letter, but Home Office said no. Doesn't surprise me, but do you have a link for that? Because I am literally better at journalism than most British journalists in that I do actually want confirmation of things. I do check to see if things are like real or not. Which makes me like Laura Koonsberg, but an actual journalist and not a massive piece of shit. So not really like her at all. I do have like 2 arms and 2 legs, and I take in oxygen, and I eat food. So I'm like her in that way, though. So, you know.
More talented young people fleeing war and persecution.
Technically, that description also counts with all the rats. I got 2 arms and 2 legs. People will say it's 4 legs. It's not. If you've seen them on their hind legs, that's the legs, and then they've got the little arms. When they stomp around like Godzilla, knocking down buildings. Or is that just Birmingham? I don't know.
To find a better future, alongside capped and managed ways for refugees to work here in the UK. Mr. Speaker, this government is determined to fix every aspect of the broken system we inherited and to restore the confidence of the British people. Solving problems, not exploiting them.
Yeah, I thought we weren't allowed to talk about immigration. Immigration is the only thing we ever fucking talk about in this country. It's ridiculous.
A serious and comprehensive plan, not fantasy claims based on sums that don't add up or gimmicks that failed in the past. What we will never do is seek to stir up chaos, division or hate, because that is not who we are as a country, and that is not what Britain stands for. A practical plan to strengthen our border security, to fix the asylum chaos and to rebuild confidence in an asylum and immigration system that serves our national interest, protects our national security and reflects our national values. Because when we wave the Union flag, when we wave the St George's flag, when we sing God Save the King...
Not the other things, though. The Welsh flag, the Scottish flag, the Northern Irish flag. None of that matters. Just the fucking butcher's apron and the one about the Greek guy from Turkey. Yeah, those are the only ones that matter. This is nightmare fuel. Also, that says mouse. I'm definitely not going to buy a rat costume, not a mouse costume. Okay? So... Unbelievable. Where are you posting the link, Michael? You said in the Discord, but that could be anywhere. There are various parts of the Discord.
Get to fuck, Nick, I'm not playing with all these mutants. Get to fuck.
Hello, mutants. How are you? Hey. Hello there, everyone. I'm Kevin Logan. I occasionally am able to stream with No Justice MTG when it's possible to do so, but not always, because the electric company are cunts, or maybe the rats at the wires. I don't know. Anyway, I'm a socialist from the UK. You can follow me on the various things on YouTube and fucking Twitch and all that bollocks. Yes, everyone go and follow No Justice MTG. Or as I like to think of her, Ash Sarkar, but better. Just saying. Mr. Metica is dead. Oh, fuck yes. Have you got a link to that? Well, I'm just getting links tonight. I'm getting links to all sorts of things, maybe. I don't know. Do you have a link to Mr. Metica being dead? Because that would be funny. I know he had cancer ages ago. And to be fair, he was cancer. So, you know.
And celebrate everything that is great about Britain and about our country. We do so with pride because of the values that our flags, our king...
Oh shit, my light isn't on. Fuck. I didn't even notice. I'm getting sloppy. And not in a good way. Yep. There we go. Pilot, thank you for the reminder. Why did no one else remind me of this? We've been going nearly 2 fucking hours. Oh, what the fuck is this? Why is this nightmare fuel? Hang on. What the fuck is the... What?
Oiled like a baby otter.
Hang on, we'll deal with that shortly. Oh, hang on, that's not the right one at all, is it? Look at that. Fucking hell. Man.
Oiled.
I'm not... I'll deal with the noise in a second. I'm not... This... No. Like, when I think of a rat costume, I think of a funny little furry thing. No, this... Look at this fucking thing. It's like furry cosplay meets fucking Reservoir Dogs. Oh, that's fucking horrible. Why is it all cut up? Oh, that's fucking gross, man. Oh, I don't like that. Hello there, DJ Clockwise. Welcome to the Kevolution. Have you read anything else happened since the chanting on your PC? No, thankfully not. I don't know what the fuck that thing was. There we go. Thank you, the Jack Meller, with 10 gifted memberships on the YouTube. Thanks, man. Much love to you. Are you excited for tomorrow's announcements? I certainly am. For those who don't know, it's the Green Party's leadership and deputy leadership announcement thingamajig tomorrow, which I will be reporting on exclusively. No one else has that story tomorrow, so you have to be here. Okay. Did I get any links to any things that I asked for links for? I wanted the story of the Gaza kid who wanted to go to university and the fucking Home Office said no, and Mr. Metica being dead. These are the two things. They're very different. They're on two ends of the scale. One a very good story, one a very not good story. NJ is doing an afternoon results stream if you two want to link up. Oh, I might drop her a little bell and say, you know, if you want to do something. I hope Zach gets elected. I do too. Very much so, because if he doesn't, then the Green Party is also fucked. Because the fucking... I'm sorry, the Bloomberg News endorsed fucking landlord briefcase ticket is not really cutting it for me. Sorry, that's like... It's not really my fucking bag. Anyway.
And our country represent togetherness, fairness and decency, respect for each other.
What fucking country do you live in? What country do you live in where you think that represents anything to do with Britain? At all. We are one of the most fucking shithouse, rude, nasty, spiteful countries. Are they TERFs? Well, Adrian Ramsey certainly has given me TERFy vibes. Certainly. When he was asked specifically about whether a trans woman is a woman, he wouldn't say one way or the other. He just gives that general bullshit of like, I believe we should respect trans people. Okay, respect is nice, but legal rights are far more practically important. So, what's the policy?
I believe trans people are inherently human and therefore dignity.
Yeah, get wrecked, mate.
Respect for the rule of law. That is what our country stands for. That is the British way to fix the problems we face. And I commend this statement to the House.
Shadow Home Secretary Criswell.
Oh, God, as if someone worse is going to get up and speak now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the Home Secretary for advance sight of her.
Who's worse, Adrian Ramsey or Adnan Hussein? Well, Adnan Hussein. Yeah, 100%. That guy's a wanker.
Her statement. The government has now been in office.
It's good to see the Tories really taking this very seriously, this issue that they've put so much weight in that they can't even fill the first 2 rows of their fucking thing. Like, their people so couldn't give a fuck, they're still on the beach, that they couldn't even get a fucking decent couple of benches for the cameras. 4 people, spread out thinly. How do you possibly think this looks to your average Reform voter who sees this? Like, you couldn't even be bothered to turn up for it. Like, not only are you not doing your job, you're not doing your job on the one thing they actually like. The one thing that they demand that you do. Fuck the rule of law. Indeed. Indeed. The rule of law is not something they really follow. They don't actually care. Who is Adnan Hussain? Adnan Hussain is what's called an independent MP for Blackburn, which is in the north of England. It's in Lancashire. And it was actually mentioned in a Beatles song. 4,000 holes in Blackburn, Lancashire. A day in the life. Yes. Beautiful song. Anyway. He's an independent. He's like a pro-Palestine, anti-Zionist campaigner, right? And the people of Blackburn voted for him to be their MP in 2024. And he's based on that issue and not a lot else, it would appear. He's anti-abortion, which is just fucking weird. No one's, like, even Tories accept abortion's just a fucking thing. And anti-trans as well. And Jeremy Corbyn hugged him. And not just in, like, some sort of weird passing way, like, at an event. Like, they spoke together at a Your Party thing. Yeah. Grim.
For well over a year. And I think, listen, and I think it's fair to say, not even their kindest friends would say they think it has gone very well. But listening to her statement, it sounds like she thinks everything is fine, and if there are any problems, it's all somehow somebody else's fault. Is she living in a parallel universe? After over a year in office.
You thought the Beatles wrote a song about Adnan Hussain. That would be very funny. I suppose if you want to be really racist, you could interpret Get Back as a thing. Maybe. Probably not, though. But, you know.
She must now take responsibility for what is happening under this government. Now, it's very interesting during her statement, Mr. Speaker, to notice she did not mention her favourite phrase from a year or so ago, that she was going to smash the gangs. I wonder why she was so silent on her previously favourite catchphrase. Well, the answer is it's not going very well. Now, she mentions National Crime Agency disruptions. Let me gently point out that 84% of those National Crime Agency disruptions that she cited a few minutes ago are classified as not being high impact. And if we look at National Crime Agency arrests for organised immigration crime, they actually went down by 16% in the last financial year, hardly smashing the gangs. And in fact, the NCA's arrests for organised immigration crime in that financial year were only 26, a drop in the ocean compared to the tens of thousands crossing the Channel. Now, Mr. Speaker, it was also rather conspicuous that the Home Secretary did not mention at all, not even a word, about the numbers illegally crossing the English Channel. Now, I wonder why that was. I wonder why she forgot to say a single word about that. Well, the reason, I'm afraid, is pretty clear. Because far from smashing the gangs, so far this year, 20...
He always sounds like he needs to drink a glass of water. He's just... like, what the fuck, man? We need to increase the number of people whose lives we ruin. Well, exactly. That's the whole point, right? That is literally the whole point. Is that they want to... It's not... It's... Right. The only way Keir Starmer could actually get any semblance of, like, momentum with right-wing voters that he seems to want is if he put these, like, removals that he's talking about, like, oh, we removed 30,000 people or whatever, is if he literally broadcast that live. Because these people don't just want change or a problem solved or whatever. They want blood, either metaphorically or literally. And again, these attacks on hotels will end up with deaths. I fucking guarantee it. They're going to start fucking killing people, and the police will do fuck all about it because they're cunts. They want to see people crushed. They want to see people suffer because they're nasty, broken, spiteful individuals. This is about hatred. It's not about coming together, the English lion roaring and all that shit. And I appreciate that there are people out there from ethnic minority backgrounds who are scared, who are doing this thing now where they put out the flags as well. And I've seen various videos on like TikTok and YouTube and various places where it's like a family of like Indian heritage or Jamaican heritage or whatever, right? A family of colour with the flag saying this is our flag too and we love the flag and flag, right? And I get that, and that's fine. I'm not going to shit on anyone who's like doing what they need to do to not get fucked over. But what I will say is that it's sort of, I know it's not pathetic on their part, it's shameful that the country has brought people to the position where they have to do that. Because some of them are probably genuine. I think many of them are not. Many of them are fucking terrified. And rightly so. I think that this country is fucking falling into a far-right morass, a swamp. Not helped by the fact that the supposedly progressive Social Democratic Party, the Labour Party, is further to the right on this than the Conservative Party, it would appear. So they, you know... So people are trying to survive. Yeah, survival patriotism. Yeah, exactly. I get that. It's a damn shame that it has to come to this, but yeah. That is the position we find ourselves in, unfortunately. I will never, and I'm white so it doesn't really matter as much I suppose, but I will never wrap myself in that fucking butcher's apron. Will never, ever happen. Apparently there are no credible sources that Mr. Metaker is dead. Okay. Ah, here we go. Right. Help Ibrahim Al-Ghorani escape Gaza now. Sign the letter. So this is the thing, apparently, this lad. Demand Ibrahim's evacuation and safe arrival in Glasgow now. Ibrahim Al-Ghorani is a 19-year-old Palestinian living under the Zionist entity's genocide in Gaza. He is taking care of his 5 siblings under constant bombardment, forced starvation, and with the inaction of the entire world. His application to the University of Glasgow is a chance at a safe evacuation and a different life for him and his siblings. He has already received an unconditional offer and has applied for the Dima al-Hajj scholarship. We must put pressure on the university administration to commit to securing his evacuation from Gaza and waive the fees that Ibrahim would have to pay to study at the University of Glasgow. Sign our letter, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't see a link to the actual thing, so I can't really do much with that. No. Okay. Well, if anyone has a link to the actual thing, I'll post that as well. Who is Mr. Metaker? Oh, Mr. Metaker is a far-right wanker. He's an internet troll person who got cancer. Reasonably young as well, which is funny. Can we get some lols in chat for bad people getting cancer?
29,000, to be precise, 29,003 illegal immigrants have crossed the English Channel. That is the worst year.
Yeah, he was the arch gamer-gator, yes.
In history, and it is up by 38% compared to last year. That is not success, it is failure. Things are not getting any better, they are getting worse. This government is failing, and everyone can see it. That is why there are protests up and down the country, and where those protests are peaceful.
Why are you doing Lola lyrics in chat, by the way? I don't mind. It's a bit of a weird song, but yeah, it's a very good song. Now, I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. It's a lovely line. 29,003. Wow, that's not even a single football stadium. Well, it's a reasonably sized football stadium. But yeah, it's not that many. In a nation of 70 million, or nearly 70 million, 29,000 is not a huge number. Yeah.
I support them. That is why, this is a shocking figure, 75%, let this sink in, 75% of the public think the government is handling immigration and asylum badly.
How many think you did a good job? Like, I'm not sure there's a Conservative you want to be doing like public like opinion poll dick measuring. I'm not sure that's going to work out well for you. Yeah. Like, you're on course to get about fucking 30 seats if an election was held today. I don't know why you would possibly think this was like a leg you had to stand on. Like socialism in Russia? What the fuck are you talking about? What's socialism in Russia?
75%. Now let me turn to hotels. Now in the 9 months before the last general election, 200 hotels were closed down, including the Bell Hotel in Epping. But since 200 hotels closed down, but since the election, the numbers in asylum hotels have actually gone up by 8%. Now, had that previous trend of closures continued, today there would be no asylum hotels open at all. But
wow, if this thing, which is probably bullshit anyway, if that continued exponentially, then there'd be minus hotels open. What are you talking about? Like, full of shit, man. Anyone can make that up. Fucking hell, man! This. Right, I'm skeptical, obviously, about Labour Party's existence, frankly. But what are the Tory Party at this point? That for me is a much more interesting question, because I know what the Labour Party are, dog shit. But what are the Tory Party now? What do they stand for? Who are they representing? They don't seem to get many, or don't seem to have many voters on their side. So who are they and what are they? I don't know, and I follow this shit, so I'm not sure they know either. The death of the most successful political party right here. Well, exactly, yeah. What we are watching is the barely animated fucking dying death row corpse of the Conservative Party, which is... Like, I'll be honest with you, it is my proudest wank. It is, actually. I'm just going to put it out there right now. I am very proud of masturbating over the death of the Conservative Party.
I asked the Home Secretary to confirm this. Will she confirm that she will not reduce hotel usage simply by shunting asylum seekers from hotels and into flats and HMOs, which are desperately needed by...
Okay, so where do you want them to be? They do exist, you realise that. So whilst you're processing people, where the fuck do they go? You don't want them in hotels, you don't want them in housing. In the air? Just floating above or what? Snap them into non-existence for a brief period and then back again and you can deport them? Like, where do these people go? Oh, that's right, you want them to be what? Fucking hung, drawn and quartered? Housed in the ground? Rwanda?
Young people. Will she give the House that categoric assurance? Now, Mr. Speaker, last week, the Home Secretary's lawyers said that the rights of illegal immigrants are more important than the rights of local people in places like Epping.
No, she didn't. What? Hang on, we'll go back for that. What?
Lawyers said that the rights of illegal immigrants are more important than the rights of local people in places like Epping.
No, they literally didn't. At all. What the fuck are you talking about? They overturned a sketchy decision about planning regulation. Got nothing to do. Look, even the original decision had nothing to do with the locals don't like the foreigners being there. It's about zoning, basically. It's whether or not the owners of the hotel could still hold their license under the different framework of not basically being a hotel anymore. Because they're not really paying, they're not taking in paying guests because all of their rooms are block booked by the government. So they're not really a hotel anymore. So do they get to keep their license or not? See, nothing to do with the people in the area not wanting brown folk around. So it's got nothing to do with the rights of local people at all. You lying racist cunt.
And when this was expressly put in those terms to the Education Secretary yesterday on the Trevor Phillips programme, in those words, she shamefully agreed. Those statements are a disgrace. Does the Home Secretary realise how angry that makes people feel? It speaks of a government not on the side of the people in this country.
The Tories, for their own pathetic, flailing political ends, are going to get people killed. You are firing up and riling up the most violent, nasty cunts in this country. You will have the blood of people on your hands. I mean, you already do in Palestine, of course, but like... Come on. You're literally trying to get people murdered at this point. Generic needs to go to advance for fascists. Well, honestly, Generic is weird. I don't even know what Generic's doing at this point. Like, who the fuck is convinced by him standing up the ladders with his film? Like, oh, I'm putting a flag up. No one believes that. No one believes that at all. Oh, I've turned the noise back on, by the way. Tory to reform. Evil rebrands. It doesn't die. True, James Holmes. Fucking true. By the way, don't forget you can do bits and subs and memberships and super chats and all that shit. And you can even pay me to wear a bowler hat. A bowler hat that I have, just off camera.
It means the government appears to care more about the rights of illegal immigrants than our own citizens. So will she apologise for what her lawyers and the Education Secretary said? And will she undertake that ministers and their lawyers will never say that again? Now, Mr. Speaker, the Home Secretary talks about her returns deal with France. Now, it has been...
Take a drink of water, for the love of God. It's very annoying. When you go... after every sentence, and sometimes midway through words, it's very annoying. Now, that might be technically a disability. Am I being ableist here? I don't know. But, like, you're a public communicator. This is fucking infuriating to listen to.
Reported that it will only return about 50 people a week, amounting to 6% of arrivals. Does she accept that allowing 94% of illegal arrivals to stay will act as no deterrent at all? Does she accept that? And if she doesn't accept this figure of 50 a week, will she tell the House exactly how many immigrants crossing the Channel will in fact be returned under her deal? Now, she may recall that back in July...
What the fuck is this? Someone throwing things out of the window of the White House. Has Donald Trump finally gone? Like, is Is his brain actually gone? Look at this. It looks like a traffic cone or something. What the is that a witch's hat? What the fuck is this now? See if I can pause it. What is that? What is it? Yeah, black bag, maybe. Of what, though? Dog shit? Donald Trump? Have they chopped up Donald Trump's corpse? Because he's definitely dead at this point, there's no doubt about it. And they're just chopping up his body and throwing it out the window, thinking people won't notice. They're going to feed him to the pigs. And then a suspiciously J.D. Vance-looking person, but with orange skin and a hay on his head, is gonna do the press conferences. I'm Donald Trump. I am. Bigly.
We were told by the government that the first returns would happen within weeks. That was back in July. Will she confirm to the House that the number who have actually been returned so far is precisely 0? Now, she also said to the House a couple of minutes ago that there would be security checks on those people reciprocally taken from France into the UK. But will she confirm that her agreement with France expressly says the French government will not provide the UK government with any information at all, any personal data about those migrants? So if there are criminal convictions, if there are suspicions about extremism or terrorism, the French government will not provide information to us. And if that is true, as her agreement says, how can she possibly conduct security checks? Now, Mr.
If that is true, that is a fair question. I will say, I mean, it's fear-mongering in a sense, because you're saying, oh, they're all terrorists. But, like, that is a reasonable security question. I am loath to give a Tory minister ever any kind of credibility or faint praise, but that is a pertinent question. Oh my god, I'm hearing the lips now. Exactly. It's like once you notice a car alarm going off and then you can't block it out. It's just there. Or if you hear like a humming coming from somewhere and you can't quite work out where it's coming from, and it's just like maybe it's an electrical socket or something. But like you hear like a noise and you can't think about anything else, and it's just there. It's in your fucking head. It's like that. It's like that. Yeah, you can't not hear it. It's just fucking mental. Okay, France will not share data that it isn't collecting. Well, I think he's suggesting that even if they do collect it, they won't get it. I think is the suggestion. Again, if it's true, I don't know if it's true. Maybe she'll answer the question. I don't know. But if that is the case, that would be fucking silly. Why would you not do that? Like, we're in fucking NATO together, for fuck's sake. You're not going to share terrorism information. The fuck?
Speaker, the Home Secretary talked about tweaks to family visa rules.
Which, by the way, like, fuck NATO. I'm just saying, the government should be chill with one another, right?
The opposition's position on this. If someone enters this country illegally, they should not be allowed to bring in any family members. In fact, everybody entering this country illegally should be immediately removed.
They know it's not true, entering illegally. If you apply for asylum, it's not illegal. You can change the... How very postmodern of them. Words don't really mean anything. No, it's... Yeah, you're... Words mean exactly what I mean them to mean. Was that the Mad Hatter, I think? Yeah. Like, you can claim it's illegal. It isn't. It's irregular migration. It isn't illegal.
To their country of origin, if possible, and if not possible, to a safe third country such as Rwanda. A scheme which...
Oh, yes, safe, yeah. Would that be the same Rwanda which is systematically executing people in the DRC? That Rwanda. That Rwanda that right now is killing thousands each month. That Rwanda you think is a safe country to send vulnerable people to. Look at the fucking snarled up face. His acting coach needs to be fired. That's embarrassing.
She cancelled just days before it was due to start. The public expects that approach. The public expects that approach, an approach which she cancelled because the numbers crossing the channel...
Socialism has gone crazy in India. Fuck off, mate. Just, like, I'm okay with you. Like, you can be not a socialist if you don't want to be, fine, but don't fucking lie. Don't fucking lie to me. We're not idiots here. We may not be geopolitical experts on every country in the world, but India is run by an ethnic supremacist, hateful, right-wing fucking goblin and his party of evil bastards. They're not socialist at all. Get fucked. In the Discord from Emma, what do we have? What do we have? Randomly throwing things out the window of the private residence of the White House this morning. Why would you not walk downstairs? When in history has anything been chucked out of the window, let alone during a potential health cover-up of the president? If this is a benign action, then we all sure as hell making it hard on themselves by doing all this weird stuff. He's dead! So can we stop pretending that Donald Trump is alive? He is a dead person. Okay? He's ceased to be. He has gone to meet his maker. Who's got some fucking questions to answer, by the way, I'm just saying. He has joined the choir eternal. This is an ex-president. Pining for the fjords?
So far this year have been the worst ever, the worst in history. And it's not just the numbers are high. Hundreds of migrants having crossed, living in those hotels, have been charged with criminal offences, including sexual assaults on girls as young as 8 years old and multiple rapes. This is not just...
And as a Tory MP, are you praising that? Are you saying those are rookie numbers? You can get those up? Like what? Or is it just game recognising game? I don't know. I don't know.
Just a border security crisis, it is a public safety crisis as well, and people up and down this country are furious. That is why they are protesting, and that is why 75% of the public think this government is failing on asylum and immigration. Now, if this government were serious about fixing this problem, they would know that little tweaks here and there are not enough. Tweaks to Article 8 are not going to be enough. Tweaking the family reunion rules are not enough. Returning, maybe if we're lucky, 50 people a week to France is not going to be enough. Maybe intercepting a few boats, worthy though that is, it is not going to be enough. The only way these crossings will stop, the only way we're going to get control of our borders back,
is if you take a sip of water, for the love of God.
Is if everybody crossing the channel knows they will get returned. Now, we tabled a bill to do that.
Everyone crossing the channel will get returned. Everyone. See, it was never about legal or illegal immigration. They just don't want any immigration. Now, with the Tories, it's especially galling, because in their final year, of course, they let in 1 million people. Far larger than any other government had ever allowed in. So they're not actually against immigration in practice. They do like being racist, and they like using racism to try and get the votes of stupid racist people. But the thing is, even though they're stupid racist people, they do have a memory. And so they remember that the Tories, in practice, are not against immigration, and in fact vastly increased immigration, having lied to those stupid racist people time after time after time, at general elections and local elections as well, about how they were going to be tough on immigration. And then they massively increased the numbers. And that's why the Tory party is no more. Again, it has ceased to be, gone to meet its maker. The dead parrot bit, all right?
Parliament a few weeks ago, we had a plan to do that, the Rwanda bill. We need to go further by disapplying the Human Rights Act, not just tinkering with Article 8, disapplying the entire Human Rights Act from immigration matters. If the government was serious, that is what they will do. So I have one last question for the Home Secretary. If she really wants to control our borders, if she really wants to get down the record numbers that have been crossed...
If she really wants to get down and get with it, get down and get with it, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, my.
On her watch, she would back our plan. She would disapply the Human Rights Act in its entirety from immigration.
Jesus Christ, you people are scum. And the thing, like, they don't believe this. It's so annoying. They're both dancing to Nigel Farage's tune, and neither of these parties fundamentally believe their own policy. And the country can see that. They're not fucking stupid. I mean, there are some stupid racists, again, aforementioned. But the people looking at this, the average person, knows that the Tories don't really give a fuck about this, because if they did, whilst they were in government, they could have done any of this. And they had 14 years and didn't. And they know that fucking Keir Starmer is not sat there masturbating into a fucking St George's flag. No matter how much he protests to the contrary, we know that he isn't that person. And no one really gives a fuck that he isn't that person. That's not what anyone judges a Prime Minister by. Oh, it's just very, very sad.
Matters, and she would ensure that every single person crossing the Channel was immediately removed.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I do worry about the Shadow Home Secretary's amnesia. And the 14 years that his party was in government, in which they never managed to do any of the fantasy things that he claimed. So coming back to the reality rather than the fantasy rhetoric that he said. He...
Okay, who got my private home video? That's just me taking a bath.
Are you okay? No.
This is a private film. How did you get hold of this? Did someone hack my cloud? Is that... Just trying to relax. Look at my figure. God, I'm sexy.
Talked about the approach that his previous government was taking before the election.
Yeah, does that count as revenge porn on me? I think it does. You'll be hearing from my lawyers that I definitely can afford. Thank you, Solly, for resubscribing. 24 months, much love. That's 2 years. Mental. Ed Balls. Ed Balls, indeed.
So it's worth reminding the House of what that approach was. Asylum decision.
I've got 2 balls. One on the left, one on the right. They meet in the middle. A testicle fight.
Dropped by 70%. They effectively had a freeze on taking asylum decisions, and they were returning those asylum seekers nowhere. Not to France, not to the safe countries that people had passed through, not to Rwanda, despite running the scheme for more than 2 years. Only 4 volunteers went at a cost of £700 million.
I didn't even notice yet her voice is turning into Sybil Faulty. And her glasses a little bit as well. Maybe that's just what white women do when they get older. They just turn into Sybil Faulty.
Left us with a backlog that was soaring, and had we continued with that totally failed approach, not taking asylum decisions, not returning people anywhere, there would have been tens of thousands more people in asylum accommodation, in asylum hotels across the country right now. That is the kind of chaos that his policies were heading towards, and that is the kind of chaos that he is promising again now. The House will remember his personal record.
Can the UK deport me? I'm begging it. Well, this is the racist thing about offering people money to leave. I want money to leave. Because if the reform get in, I want to leave as well. Where's my fucking money? I'll happily go and live with my family in Ireland. Just, yeah, give me the dough. I'll fuck off.
But obviously, where small boat arrivals went up tenfold on his watch when he was an immigration minister, and where the less than 1,000 asylum seekers were in hotels by the time he became immigration minister, more than 20,000 by the time that he left.
No, I hear what you're saying, Marcel, but like, I don't want to just give you the analysis of like, obviously immigration isn't all bad. Because I assume that you sort of already know that. I assume if you're watching my shit, you're already aware of that. You're not a reactionary piece of shit. So I don't need to tell you necessarily immigration isn't bad. You sort of pick up that vibe from me because I'm literally saying the people out there doing the flag shagging are dickheads. So you know where I'm at with that, right? But me just saying, you know, immigrants aren't like your fucking enemy is sort of redundant, I think, for the most part. So I will occasionally slip that in there, but for me, the much more interesting analysis is, like, why are the Tories saying this? I was commenting on her response, actually. Oh, okay, well, the point remains. Also, she doesn't want to say immigrants aren't bad, because the whole point is to try and give the impression that she hates immigrants, even though I don't think she does. This is the annoying thing. I don't think the Labour Party is anywhere near as racist as it wants to portray itself. It's just that's where the zeitgeist is, because Britain is cooked beyond belief. We have been left in the oven for far too long. We are crispy at this point. All of the moisture has gone. We are fucked. Honestly, you need to just throw us in the bin and start the meal again. We are that fucked. So they're pretending to be much more racist than they actually are. Which is annoying, because they are actually quite racist as well. You can tell that from the Ukraine thing. They'll happily welcome in the white people. But the Browns, no. Boris Johnson's oven-ready deal forgot to put on the timer. True.
And his new concern for local councils, well, he was the immigration minister who actually wrote to local authorities to tell them he was stopping the requirement for local authorities to agree to accommodation, saying, I have instead authorised providers to identify any suitable properties that they consider appropriate.
Unbelievable. The Tories, like, it's like with Donald Trump, there's always a tweet. With the Tories, there's always some, like, governmental chicanery. Always. No matter what they do to criticise Labour or anyone, frankly, there's always like, oh, so why did you on the 12th of August 2017 write the exact opposite of the thing you just wrote? Why did you write it? Like, it's always completely fucking hypocritical or full of shit. Or you find out, like, literally the hotel that they're all moaning about in Epping Forest, the Tories opened that as the immigrant hotel. It was already a hotel, like a normal hotel, which accepts, you know, paying customers. Although why quite you would go to Epping Forest for a hotel, I don't know. I presume it was basically rich people from the city having an affair. Having a dirty weekend with their mistress, perhaps. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, the Tories were the first ones to do it. And now they're like, this is a disgrace, it needs to close. Why did you open it then? Dickheads. Like, this wasn't an issue. Before the Tories came along, migrant hotels didn't exist. It wasn't a thing. Kev, can you turn your head to the side? Can you turn your head side onto the camera? I need something for a meme. So what, like that? Or do you want the other side? I've done your bidding, 255.
So, Mr. Speaker, we agree with communities across the country that asylum hotels must all close. And I understand too why councils individually want to take action in their area, But I would say to the Shadow Home Secretary, a party that wants to be in government should have a proper plan for the whole country, not just promote a chaotic approach that ends up making it worse in lots of areas. But that actually is their record. The reason that we have asylum hotels in the first place is because they did no planning. They let Manston chaos get out of control, and both the Shadow Justice Minister, when he was Immigration Minister, as well as the Shadow Home Secretary, rushed around the country opening hotels instead of taking a practical, steady approach that gets to the heart of the problem, that reduces the asylum system, that strengthens our border security and tackles and reforms the appeals that are causing the huge delays now. And as the final point, Mr. Speaker, this government strongly believes that sex offenders need for our country to come together, not to be scared.
Yeah, Tiny Green Queen.
And not to pit people against each other.
Carla Daniel.
Madam Deputy Speaker, our communities are divided and they are scared. We, all of us, want to be with our families, and communities are at their strongest when family life is protected and supported. If the Secretary of State lifted the ban on asylum seekers working, she would be giving those who subsequently achieve refugee status a stronger footing to support their families and be ready to join our communities and not need to seek that homelessness relief that she mentions. So, instead of keeping children and their families apart, why doesn't she help families to support themselves?
It's a very good question. Very good question. Practical.
Prime Secretary.
Well, I know that the honourable member will be as concerned as I am about the lives at risk in the small boat crossings, and we do have to do everything that we can to prevent those dangerous boat crossings, including seeing families on those boat crossings as well. But part of what the criminal gangs do, part of their sell, is to claim that it will be really easy to work, and that is work illegally in the UK, but that is part of their pitch. It's one of the reasons why it's so important that we tackle the illegal working, because it's that promise of being able to work easily, being able to get income, that is one of the things that the criminal gangs exploit in order to get a lot of...
So let's make sure that they can't work, because of course having desperate people who are poor as fuck won't lead to further criminality. Like, it's fucking madness. Open up the safe and legal routes and let them fucking work. Why? What? This is so silly. You're literally creating a framework for criminality. Because if you stop them from making a living honestly, they'll just do so illegally. That's always been the way. That's why mafias arise. Well, not necessarily mafias, but that's how, like, gangs arise. It's because in areas where there is no legitimate, steady way forward economically, they'll create their own paths due to, let's say, illicit means. Whether it be selling of drugs, theft, whatever. And that's how people go. We know the combination, or we know the connection between poverty and crime. If you make people poorer, they are more likely to engage in criminality. That's just true. So you're going to force these people who are already poor into further poverty and expect that no negative consequence comes from that. You're a fucking mentalist. Thank you, NYC guy. We've been a bit who says, Kev, what do you think of Yvette Cooper? Is she just another politician waiting to run for PM? I don't think she's got a chance of being Prime Minister, in all honesty. I think she'll probably want to run. I think she'll certainly look at doing so. But no, and also she's just a bullshitter from start to finish. You know she doesn't believe many of the things she's saying. Which is why she gets out with your man so well. Oh, for God's sake, 2.5. Thank you. That's me grooming somebody. I think that's the only way you can use the phrase, there's me grooming somebody, and it not be a cancelable offence. I think we found the sweet spot, chat. It's the only grooming of a young lady done that isn't Me Too. Just saying. Didn't she already run for Labour leader? I think she did in the past, yeah. Okay, I'm definitely not saving that image into the folder. I'm not doing that. That's crazy.
People to part with their money and to get involved in what is this criminal gang's vile trade.
Is there anyone else that's of like vague interest? Oh, there's Pete Wishaw from the SNP. Let's see what they've got to say.
What a country the UK is becoming.
Companies to share information so that we can target abuse and crime.
Pete Wishaw.
What a country the UK is becoming, and rarely has the national mood been so ugly and intimidating. People congregating at hotels, screaming at asylum seekers to go home. The right wing so emboldened that they feel the streets belong to them. Doesn't she realise that every time she moves onto the ground of reform, all she's doing is further encouraging and emboldening them? How about...
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying something different? How about just occasionally saying something positive about immigration? How about not dehumanising asylum seekers and showing them some compassion, decency?
See, this is why the SNP will be missed when Scotland inevitably goes independent. Because, I mean, look, it's one of the few people to stand up and say the thing. How about we don't treat them like fucking scum? How about we have some basic human decency? Like, that's revolutionary in parliamentary terms. That's completely outside of the zeitgeist. The one opinion you're allowed to have at Westminster, which is now apparently ethno-nationalism or something.
And humanity.
Yeah. Well, I would just point out to the Honourable Member that I've spoken about Ukrainian mums and the experiences that they had fleeing from Putin.
Where's that? Hang on. Kev, marry me, take me with you. Yeah, I might do. Hang on, someone said something about India. And I can't find the thing. Oh, did it get deleted? Oh, well, I'll read it anyway. Why did you say rot about India? Who uses people ethnic in India for governance? We are not all the same. I know you're not all the same. And that's the point I'm making. Is that Hindu nationalists are ethnic supremacists who are trying to destroy the ethnic diversity and richness of the nation of India. I'm literally saying that you're not all the same. I fully accept that. And I know that lots of Hindus don't support the BJP and Narendra Modi and his evil. I know that. And my love and heart goes out to them. I hope they ultimately succeed. But right now, it looks very fucking bad. The world's biggest quote-unquote democracy is teetering on the brink of something very, very nasty.
I have spoken about the students in Gaza who currently can't take up their places and who we are working to do expedited visas so that they can pursue a better future, and the importance of having a proper legal and controlled routes as part of...
I'm not even listening to this bitch anymore. I'm not even listening to her. Because what she's saying is fucking irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything. It's just pablum. So you know what? I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to bother with her. I think I'm done for the evening. Hello, Katie Marshall / Mad Cat Scotty Eye. Everyone go and follow that person on all of the platforms. They are awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it for tonight. I think I'm gonna go. This was depressing content as always, because the world is not in a good place. But tomorrow, hopefully, we're going to have some good news. Fingers crossed, Adrian Ramsey will be announced as the new leader of
Sometimes maybe
Le
good,
Parti
sometimes
Grand.
maybe shit.
I have absolutely no idea if that's how you pronounce that in French. Almost certainly not, I imagine. Anyway, Andrina's Kev says, keep on streaming, Kev. What do you want me to stream? I mean, thank you for the £5, but you unless you've got something very specific you want me to stream about. Super Tansky is live. Oh no. Oh God. Hang on. I am tempted by that, if I'm honest. What's she? Is she live? I can't see her. No, she stopped streaming 53 minutes ago. Don't be a silly sausage. We'll take a look at something tomorrow. I don't fucking know. Just in general, not now, sweetheart. Oh, okay. Well, in general, I will continue to stream, but just not for tonight. Send us to her stream after you finish. That could be fun. No, well, she's finished, so I can't. Graham Hughes is live. Oh, I can't be bothered. I've been trying to get in touch with him, by the way, and he's a very difficult boy to reach. Dang nammit. So if people want to go over there and say, debate Kevin Logan about the Labour Party, you can do that. Don't brigade and be weird and rude and that, but just, if you want to drop it in there, that would be a good thing to do, you can. Anyway, edit video. Right. Let's see who is actually going on YouTube that I can send everybody over to. Some random geek is going. Go and say hello to some random geek who is cool. And who is going on the Twitches? Hassan Arby's going, but I feel like he doesn't need the help. I feel like he definitely doesn't. My new follower DJ Mule is streaming, but I won't send you over there. J Marianne? Yeah, we haven't been over to J Marianne in a little while. They'll be doing something, I imagine. Go and check out J Marianne, who is cool. And I will be doing things. I'll be back tomorrow with like I say, with results. I don't know if I will be streaming with No Justice in the afternoon. I'll try and contact her and see what's about. But in lieu of that, I'll be back and I'll give you my analysis and reaction and all the rest of it, and maybe some other stuff that happens, because news. I am a journalism after all. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. Thank you for all of your support. Go and say hello to the various people I've raided into. Thank you to No Justice MTG for the raid. And Free Palestine. No Passaran.